Okay, what we're going to do today is we're going to do a simple program. We're just going to do Hello World, which is not in your book, but we're going to do that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look at how you upload your project. And this is how you're going to upload all your projects in the class. And I'm going to start by saying that my program or my computer is being a little wiggy. So just so you know, it's going to sometimes some weird things happen. So just so you know. Okay, you're going to start by opening Visual Basic 2010. Click on New Project. And this is how you're going to do all of your projects. Make sure you choose Windows Forms application. Always name your application. I don't ever want to see an application that starts with that's named Windows Application 1. That is always wrong. You will always get points marked off. I'm going to call this one Hello World. That's just the standard first program that everybody makes. In your book, you're not making it, but we're going to make it just for demonstration purposes. Click OK. It's going to open up a design window. Okay, don't ever call your form Form 1. That's always going to be a dead giveaway that you're not really completing your project. So click on your Form 1, go ahead and change the text to something descriptive. We're going to call ours Hello World. When you're changing the text property, you don't have to worry about your capitalization. You don't have to worry about your spaces. This is something descriptive to the user to describe what kind of a form they're filling out. The text property is always something that's descriptive for the user. So there's no naming conventions that you have to worry about. This can be sentences, it can be descriptive, it can be words, whatever. So the text property is always something that you're doing for the user. So remember that. That's for the user. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in a label. This is something that you're going to display your message in. I'm just going to click and stick it right there. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to give the label a name. We always keep the type in there. This is a label, so we're going to keep the type. We're going to call it message label. This has to be descriptive. That's for the purpose of the programmer. The name, anything that's got these little brackets around it, these little parentheses, that means it's for the computer, not for the user, for the computer. The computer has to understand it. That means naming conventions apply. Okay, in this case, we're using what's called camel case. That means that it starts with a lowercase or a capital, depending on which thing you're naming. Here we're naming an object, so we're going to start with a lowercase letter. And so we're going to start with a lowercase letter, and then every subsequent, sorry, there's some of that wiggy going on. Every subsequent word is going to have a capital letter. So that means that me, as the programmer, I'm a human, I'm trying to read this. So the computer doesn't really care if every next word is a capital letter, because the computer doesn't really see words. But I'm a programmer and I'm trying to read this, and so I need that capital letter in there so that I understand. Okay, the computer doesn't really care. The computer cares if you put spaces in here. The computer doesn't like spaces. So you can't use spaces, you can use underscores, you can use capitals, you can use lowercase. You can't start with a number, okay? And there are certain reserved words that you can't use. Otherwise, pretty much anything applies, okay? So you can't start with a number, and you can't use, inside, you can't use certain characters, like you can't use @ symbols and stuff like that, but you can use underscores to separate the words. Generally, we don't use underscores unless we're naming constants. Then you can use underscores, because then you use all caps. But that's another story. If you're watching this and you're in VB2, then you understand that. If you're in VB1, then worry about that later. So we're going to use camel case, lowercase, then all capitals for each subsequent word. Okay, then we're going to go down here. We don't want anything to show up when we run the program. If we run this now, see, I can run this even though there's nothing, I really haven't done anything. When I run this, okay, see, it shows up and it says label 1. And now if I'm a user and I see that, I'd be like, label 1, say what? What? So I don't want that to show up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this text property. Remember, text is for the user. Okay, that's what the user sees. So I'm just going to delete that and make it a nothing. Okay, so I'm going to make it blank. Now, okay, watch. When I click out of it, where'd it go? Okay, now if you have to get it back because you have to change something, see, like you can click until you find it. Oh. Don't worry about that. We're going to have to undo that. And actually, that's kind of a good thing that happened, because now you have to delete that because you don't want it there. And I'll show you how to delete that. But if you have to get that back, you can click around until you find it. That's kind of a pain. So what we're going to do to get it back, if you have to go back because you have to make some like changes in the properties or something, pull this down, click here, there it is. Okay, easiest way to get it back. Don't click all over the place until you find it, because that is really hard. Because like, where did it go? Okay, so that's the easiest way to get it back. Okay, so now we've got a label. That's where our little message is going to show up. Okay, now we need a button. Okay, when the user presses the button, it's going to show up. So there's our button 1. Okay, so I'm going to make that a push me button. Okay, so I'm going to name it push me button. Now remember, we leave the object type there, button, and I'm going to name it push, lowercase, me, button. Now see, I used 2 words to call it push me button. Okay, so you can use more than 1 word as a descriptor. This is the push me button. So push, lowercase, me, uppercase, button, uppercase. Okay, now down here in the text property, remember that's for the user. I want to tell the user what they're supposed to do. Push me. It's kind of like Alice in Wonderland, right? It said eat me, drink me. Push me. Okay, so now the user knows what to do. See, now the button says push me. Okay, now I'm just going to kind of put that in the middle right there so that the user knows what to do with it. Now I need another button so that they can exit the program. Now they can't exit the program, and I can align that. See how I get those little lines there? So I can align it, and I want that to be an exit button. So again, with my text property, I want to tell the user what's gonna happen when they push the button. They're just gonna exit, and I need to name my button. I want to keep that word button because that's what type of object it is. And then I'm just going to type exit button. Now you don't always have to name the button based on what the button says. Okay, you can name it based on what the button does. It just has to be something descriptive so that as I'm going through the code, I know what I'm talking about. Okay, now I need to do some coding. So what I'm going to do is I want to code the push me button first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to put my mouse over the push me button. I'm going to double click. Click, click. Now, see, it already writes a bunch of code for me. Private sub push me button underscore click. That means when the push me button is clicked, what I want it to do. Well, the first thing I need to do is I need to write comments. Okay, I start the comments with a apostrophe, and I write, let's see, displays message in label. Okay, because that's what it does. So when they push the button, what I want to do is me. That means on this form. Now, it gives me all these options, okay? You always want to choose from the options when possible, and I want the message label. There's my message label right there. Always choose from the options because that's going to help you prevent from making mistakes. Now, it gives me options, okay? Text, look at it. It chooses the most obvious option. Okay, so I'm just going to press equals because that selects the highlighted option. Less typing because I'm lazy that way. Now, what do I want it to do? I want it to display the message, hello world. Hello world. Okay, I put that in quotes. When I put it in quotes, then it displays exactly what's in quotes. Okay, so what I did there is I just said when I push the push me button, it's going to display the message, hello world. Now, see this? Remember this stuff up here? I said, oh, don't worry about that. When it does, I can't leave that there. This is an empty sub procedure. It doesn't do anything. It's superfluous. It's broken. It's bad code. It shouldn't be here. I need to get rid of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select from sub all the way up through this private sub. I'm going to select that whole bunch of text that the computer wrote for me, and I'm going to delete it. Okay, you need to get rid of it. It needs to be gone. I will take off points if you have code in there that doesn't need to be there. Okay, so now we have that sub procedure. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is we need to go to back to our form, and we need to code the exit button. Okay, same thing, double click. It writes code for the exit button. Okay, it says when the exit button is clicked, what do? Okay, and we're going to write a little comment, write that apostrophe, and then we put exits program. Notice it's in green. That means it's a comment. That means the computer doesn't see it. It just skips that. It's like, well, whatever, I don't care. But me as a programmer, I need to know what that means. Now, this is kind of a simple program, so you're thinking, well, why do I have to put that? Who cares? You know, obviously, it's obvious what it does. Well, yeah, it is, but as your programs get bigger and bigger and bigger, it's good to be in the habit. It's kind of like, you know, putting your seatbelt on, right? You know, if you get in the habit of putting your seatbelt on every time you get in the car, you know, then it's second nature. You always do it, you always do it, you always do it. And so then when you're in a car accident, you got your seatbelt on, right? Same thing. If you're in the habit of always commenting your text or commenting your code, then when you get into a situation where you're writing huge programs, you're always doing it. So you don't get into a thing where you have to go back and comment your code when you've got huge programs. Okay, so same thing. We're going to do me. Okay, I hate when that happens. Okay, we're going to do, I like to work with the program because when you let the program do the indenting, it just, you know, it indents it how it's supposed to be indented. Do the me dot, that means we're working within the form. We're looking for things in the form. Okay, so me dot, and what we want to do is close. Okay, and see, there's the close right there. So then we're going to do, this is a method. Okay, so we're going to do me dot close, open, close parentheses. Okay, it doesn't take any arguments. Arguments go in the parentheses. We'll learn more about that later. For those of you in VB2, you probably know a little bit about that, so that's fine. Okay, me.close closes the program. Okay, now you should have comments actually before your thing here. So we're just going to put some comments. We're going to put the programmer, you know, who you are, programmer, this is me, and then you should probably put your day. Oops. Oh. If it's not green, you forgot that apostrophe. Date, and then just put your date, and then, you know, put your course or something like that. You know, or the program name, whatever. So you should put a little bit of information up there before the public class form. Okay, before you open your program, you should have a couple comments that give some information about the program. Okay, you should always have those. Then this little green button here, that'll run your program. Run. Make sure you test every aspect of the program. If there are errors, if you have error checking, make sure you put in errors to see if the error checking works. Make sure you put in code, all the code, to make sure everything works. Push me. Yes, that works. It displays what it's supposed to display. Exit. Yep, it works. Okay, so once you've got all that, you do File, Save All. Okay, here it is, Hello World. Here, look and see where it is. Users, Linnea, Documents, Visual Studio 2010, Projects. Okay, the name is Hello World. Make sure you've got this checked. Create directory for solution. Okay, if you don't think you can remember that, copy it, put it into like a notepad. Okay, so you remember it, because if you don't remember it, you're going to be forever searching for the solution. Okay, so once you've got it all done, okay, go ahead and save it. Save. Okay, so you've got everything saved how you're supposed to save it. Okay, so now the next thing that you need to do is you need to zip it and turn it in. If you're using Windows XP, if you're using Windows Vista, if you're using Windows 7, you've got a zip program built into your computer. You've got it built into your operating system. You don't have to go out. You don't have to buy a new, you don't have to buy it. You don't have to download it. It's there. You have it. So you don't have to worry about getting a separate program in order to do this. So what we're going to do is go ahead and close that. Don't look at the mess that is my desktop. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to go find this. So this is in Documents. So I can just go straight to my Documents. Okay, and we're going to see it's in Visual Studio. So you can see right there, Visual Studio 2010. So there it is right there, Visual Studio 2010. So you're going to open that. And then if you look at the next part in the path, Projects. So we're going to go to Projects right there. Now, there's Hello World right there. See, it's 8/25/2011. That's today. So what you're going to do is I need that whole folder. I need every bit of it. Okay? I need the whole thing. Don't even go down into it, because I don't need one file out of it. I need the whole thing. If you want to look and see what's in there, that's fine. Look. See, you've got this. This is your solution file. Okay? The solution file is if you want to go back and open and work on it some more, you just double click that solution file, and that's going to open up. This opens up the program for you to start working on. That's the file that you See over here, this is it over here. So if you want to go back into your design, this is the design file. So if you want to go back into that form that you start working in, you know, the cool little pictures and stuff, drag and drop. Okay, so that's the file that you double click on to find that. Okay, if you want to run your program, okay, that's in this bin, bin. Okay, debug, and then that exe right there. Double click on that, and there it is right there. That's the file that you run. Okay, don't send just this to me. Okay, because I need to grade your whole project. I need to see your code and everything. Now, if you want to look at your code, this is your code right here, Form 1 VB. You can right click on this. Don't just open the VB because that's a big pain. Do open with and then use Notepad. Okay, there's your code. This is your code right here that you just wrote. Okay, use Notepad to open it up because otherwise it's going to open up in VB. It's a big pain. Okay, but if you open just this, if you open up this using Visual Studio, now watch what happens. Now see, I can't get to my design form from here. Okay, now if you turn just this into me, I can't grade it because I can't see your form. I can see your code, but I can't see your form or anything. Okay, so just turning this into me isn't gonna, you're only gonna get partial credit because I can't see your form design or anything. I can't see how you named anything. I can't see anything. Okay, so I can just see your code, which doesn't help me too much. Okay, it gives me some information, but not enough. Okay, so you need to turn in the whole folder. So let me show you how to zip and turn that in. Okay, so we need to go all the way up here, all the way to the top. Remember, we went to the projects folder. Okay, don't zip the projects folder because I don't want all your projects. I just want the one. Okay, find that one that you just made. Right click on it and choose Send to. Send to, and don't look because I got like 6,000 zip programs on my computer. You want the send to. That's the one that comes with your OS. Choose compressed. Okay, choose compressed. Okay, and see, it creates this one right here, helloworld.zip. Okay, now it's gonna have a different picture on yours because mine actually creates a WinZip file because I have WinZip on my computer, and actually I'm gonna get rid of that because it's really irking me. Yours actually creates a .zip file. It'll still create a .zip file, but it makes a little different picture. Okay, don't worry about that. You're looking for the file that has the .zip extension. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to go to the classroom. Okay, now I'm going to go to Visual. Let's see. I'll go to Visual Basic 1. I think I have a. I just started putting the class together, so I think I have some place that you can turn something in there. Like I said, my computer's being wiggy, so bear with me. Okay, so you're going to go to Blackboard. And like I said, you're not turning in Hello World, so don't freak out. You're not turning in Hello World, and where I'm going to show you to turn this in is not where you're not turning in a program to this. I'm just using this as an example because I don't have all the programs, all the stuff done. If you're having trouble seeing the classroom, you can click on this little compatibility view, and that'll help you see everything. Okay, see it kind of makes things better. A little bit. Or not. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this is an assignment, and again, this is not an assignment with a program. I'm just choosing this one because this happens to be an assignment. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the assignment where you need to turn in a program. And you are going to go to Attach File. You're going to go to Browse My Computer, and then you're going to go, remember, it's the same place that it was where it was before. So we're going to go to the same place. We're going to go to Documents. We're going to go to Visual Basic or Visual Studio 2010. We're going to go to Projects. And there's that zip file. So you want the one with the zip extension. Okay, if you click on the wrong one, it's going to open up. See, it opens up. That's wrong. And see, this has an SLN extension. You don't want that one. Okay, we want the one with the zip extension. Okay, and you're just going to open it. Okay, and that attaches it. Okay, and then we're just going to go down here and we're going to choose Submit. Now, if you have another one that you need to attach, you can just attach another file. There's another, isn't there an attach another file? I guess you have to go and attach another file, but you click on Submit. Okay, and then, oh, okay, and then if you have to do another one, you can just do Start New Submission if you have to submit another file. Okay, so that's all there is to it. Just make sure you do that zip file. Make sure there's that zip extension on it. Okay, so, and that's all there is to it. Okay, so, and that's how you're going to submit any program. Anything that you program, that's how you're going to submit. All right, and if you have any questions about that, make sure you let me know, and I'll help you out. Okay, good luck.